Welcome back. So I know there's a lot of sun keychain tutorials that already exist on YouTube, but honestly, I feel like those are overly complicated for no reason, and also they end up too large. So I've modified what I've been seeing online to make my own little version here. Let me show you how to do it. I've got two different versions. I'll show you how to attach a keychain, and I'll also show you how to make the little loop that attaches here to make it a bag charm. As for supplies, I'm working with a 4mm hook, a medium type yarn. As I say in every video, I never know exactly what kind of yarn I'm working with because I typically either get it gifted or I thrift it or things like that. So I'm just working with random scrap yarns, some scissors, a yarn needle, and if you're going to do the keychain version, then you're going to need a keychain and a way to attach it. I'm going to start by making a magic ring. If you're unfamiliar, I will sort of slowly do this. You can see what I'm doing. So I'm wrapping around my two fingers twice. I'm going to take my hook, grab this back loop, pull it down and under, twist my hook. I'm going to grab this little tail over here and pull it through. And that's what your magic ring should look like. Then I'm going to put 6 single crochets into the middle of this magic ring. So take a look at how I'm holding this, because this part gets bigger and smaller. It's easier to work into if it's a little bit smaller, so that you can just hold and contain everything well. And I'm going to do 6 single crochets into the middle of this ring. So I'm going to go into the middle of it, yarn over, pull it through. Now I have 2 loops. I'm going to yarn over and pull it through both of those hoops. That was 1 single crochet. I'm going to need 6 of them. That's 2. Let me show you again. I'm going to go through the middle of it, yarn over and pull it through, yarn over and pull it through. That's 3, 4, 5, through the middle, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through both. That's 6. See this little tail here? Let me unravel it a little bit. Keep my stitches straight. You can see this is the top and this is the bottom. And I'm going to pull that little tail end to close that circle up. That's the end of the first row. We've got 6 stitches. For the second row, we need to increase to 12 stitches. We're still working in single crochets, single stitches. So I'm just going to move that little tail out of my way. What's happening? Yeah, there we go. Move that little tail out of my way. To increase to 12, we just need to put 2 single crochets into each of these 6 stitches that already exist. So I'm going right into that first stitch there, and I'm going to do 2 single crochets. Hold on, I'm struggling to get through. I want to go through both loops. There we go. Yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. That's 1. I'm going to do another one into the same stitch. I'm going to go through, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. That's 2. Moving on to the next stitch here, I'm going to do 3 and 4. In the next stitch goes 5 and 6. In the next stitch goes 7 and 8. In the next stitch goes 9 and 10. And in that last stitch goes 11 and 12. That's the end of row 2. We now have 12 stitches. We're going to need one more row. The third row, we're going to copy exactly what we just did on this second row. We're going to increase from 12 to 24, which means I'm just going to put 2 single stitches again in each of these. We're doing 1 and 2 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. And I'm going to just continue around like here, and I will meet you back here when I've got 24. I finished my way around. I now have 24 stitches. I'm going to cut and then just kind of tie this off. I'm going to need 2 of these, which I have already done off camera. I'm also going to switch to the darker color yarn, or whatever other color you're doing. So I'm going to prepare that. I've got this orange color that I think goes really nicely. So these are the front, and this is the back. You can see the back like has that tail, and also you can just see these stitches just look cleaner and nicer than these ones do. So we're going to put the 2 backs to each other. But how we're going to do this is I'm going to come through this very first stitch after where we ended. I'm going to go through both loops. I'm going to take the other one, and I'm going to go through this very last loop where we ended. That way these 2 little parts that stick up end up like a nice smooth edge right there, right? So we don't have like a little spot poking up. I'm going to take my yarn, just hook it on my hook just like so, and pull it through. Take that tail out of the way, take the working end, and finish a little slip stitch just so you're connected, and so both of these are connected together. Okay, now to make the spikes around the edge, I'm going to do a half double crochet and also a triple crochet. If you're not familiar, don't worry, I will like slowly break those down as we go, how to do both of those stitches. We're going to start with a half double, and we're going to go into, let me grab my little pointer here. We're going to go into the that stitch that we slipped into. I'm going to go into the very next one and get both sides. But I'm going to do a half double to do that. So I'm going to yarn over, come through both of those stitches there, yarn over and pull through. I've got 3 hooks on my yarn. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. That's a half double. Then I'm going to do a triple crochet into the same stitch. I'm going to yarn over twice. And like I said, I'm working into that same stitch. So I'm going to pull through, yarn over, and pull my yarn through. That leaves me with 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 2. That leaves me with 3. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 2. That leaves me with 2 loops on my hook. I've gotten a bit wrapped over, but that leaves me with 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to complete that triple by yarning over and pulling through those last 2. That was our triple. We'll do it again. I'll show you a couple more times. But to finish this spike, we're going to do another double. I'm going to yarn over into that same stitch we're still working in, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those. To finish this little spike off, I'm going to work into the next stitch and do a slip stitch. So I'm going to go through both sides of that loop, yarn over, pull it through, and then just pull it through. That's your first little spike. And we're just going to repeat that 10 more times. So let me show you the different stitches one more time, because I know I wouldn't have picked it up just by seeing it once like that. So we're going to do the half double. And now again, after that slip stitch, we're going to work into the next stitch. So each cluster is going to be in every other stitch, and then filling the stitch in between will be that little slip. So right into that next stitch, I'm going to do a half double. I'm going to yarn over, go through both sides of my stitches there, yarn over, pull it through. I've got 3 loops, so I'm going to yarn over, pull it through all 3. That was my half. So let me show you how to do this cluster one last time before I fast forward to being done with this round. So I've just slipped into this stitch, finishing that one, that little cluster. Into the next stitch, I'm going to yarn over, go through my stitch here, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through all 3 to do a half double. I'm going to put a triple into that same stitch, so I'm going to yarn over twice, go into that same stitch, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through the first 2, yarn over, pull it through the second 2, yarn over, pull it through the last 2. Then I'm going to do another half double right into that same stitch. I'm going to yarn over, put it through, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through all 3. And then I'm going to finish this little cluster by slip stitching into the next stitch. I'm going to go through, yarn over, pull it through, and just pull it all the way through. And I'm just going to keep repeating that, alternating by doing those 3 stitches into one, slipping into the next, doing those 3 stitches, slipping into the next. When I get close to being all the way around and sealing it up completely, I'm going to go ahead though and stop and just shove all of these tail ends inside. That way it'll give it a little bit of a plushy effect, but also just hide my tails very easily for me, so I don't do a ton of sewing in later. And then I'm just going to continue right along doing another cluster. I've just finished my last little cluster here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 clusters, 11 little spikes. I've got 1 stitch left open. I'm going to slip stitch into that. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the stitch that we did our first one in, just to kind of complete that orange around there. So I'm going to come through, hook, and just pull it through everything. Now, if you're going with the keychain aspect, I would cut this off, pull it through, and then attach the keychain, which I'll show in a minute. But if we're going with the bag charm route, I'm going to, from here, chain 25. And 11, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cut. Oops, shouldn't have really taken that off. Let me put that back on. Then I'm going to just basically attach this end to here to make a little loop. So to do that, I would basically just slip stitch into here by bringing that little tail through to slip into that. Was that clear? I feel like that was kind of unclear. Let me show you again. Let me just pull it out just so I could show you, because I feel like that was a little hectic. So I just chained my 25. I'm going to come through here, bring my tail up, hook it, and pull it through everything. And then hook this and pull it through and tighten this. That would be the bag charm version. Then I would just take this little tail end, take my yarn needle and weave it in. However, we're not doing the bag version on this one. So I'm going to go back to where I just was, where I just slipped into that last slash first. Oops, I didn't make it through all the, hello. So to do the keychain version, I'm back to where I just slip stitch into this last slash first stitch. I'm going to cut off, pull this through to tie it off, take my yarn needle. I'm not used to crocheting with long nails on. These are kind of getting in my way. It's not too bad. I've kind of gotten used to them. I've had them on for a few days. But I'm just going to take it, and whichever way it just kind of like lays more flat and natural, so it seems like it'll go this way nicely. I'm going to take that, just shove it through the middle, so you can see I'm not coming through this side. I'm also not coming through, like I'm in the middle of them all, of them both. Cut off that extra, shove that back in there. Pull everything out. And that gives you the sunflower, I almost said sunflower. I've been making a lot of sunflower and just different kinds of flower things recently. Next, I'm going to get all this chaos out of my way and bring in the tool so that I can attach my keychain. So I've got this little jump ring. Is that what this is called? I'm kind of forgetting. I've got my little ring. I'm going to just go through the top here. Cool, cool. Add my keychain. Now you can buy these online, but I happen to have a ton of these really little miniature keychain rings. So I just put a few of those together on a standard size keychain ring, just to kind of like use up what I've already got. I'm not sure how I even got these tiny little key rings, but I don't use many of those tiny ones. So I figured this would be kind of a cool way to actually use them up. But then I'm just going to throw my little keychain on there and then close it up. It's kind of hard to squeeze this through without it just like slipping off. I do find it I'm almost taking my keychain off. I do find it easier sometimes if I like put my thumb to this side and kind of push against my thumb as I come from the side to be able to squeeze. Yeah, see, that worked better. I'm just trying to like flatten this out as much as I can so that this ring closes properly. But I'm struggling. I swear, anytime I put a camera on, all of a sudden I just don't even know how to crochet. Okay, that's on there securely. I'm just gonna put the little part that closed inside. You've got both versions, the little bag charm version, which honestly I almost like better because I just feel like it looks better up here. But if anybody wants the keychain version, we've got that as well. This one I made a little bit larger. I did some double crochets in the middle. I don't really like the size of this one as much. And also I don't like that I stuck with the same color yarn because I think it just looks more like a sun when you do it separately. Or of course there's the option to add a little face. Honestly, when I put a face like this onto these small ones, I think it just starts to look a little wonky. So I leave it off of these small ones, but this is definitely an option that you can use like specific eyes, or you can just make them out of yarn. If you want me to show you guys how to do, wow, my nails are gross. If you want me to show you how to do this, I can, but honestly, there's a ton of it. Like I just learned off of a video that's already on YouTube already anyways, so if you want to learn how to do the face, you can do that as well. But we've got little sun options. And that's that on the sun keychain or bag charm. I think this is a really quick, easy, fun little project for beginners. It's good for small amounts of yarn, so it could be a scrap yarn project. And I mean, doesn't that just make you smile? Sure makes me smile. Thanks so much for joining me. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe where you're hanging out down there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!